This problem is a nightmare. The function f is defined by that cubic function right there. What do you notice? A big fat c right there attached to x. C is a constant. Got to find that constant out. In the xy plane, the graph of the f intersects at the x-axis at 3 points, -4, 0, a half 0, and great, another letter, p 0. What that looks like graphically is if I were to draw out that cubic, all right, I would have it go through -4. I would have it go through a half and some rando spot we don't know called P. Now, if a line or a curve goes through the x-axis, that means this guy right here has a factor, x something. That something is going to be the opposite of this. So x plus 4, x minus a half, and x minus p. So that times that's going to equal that. So I have x plus 4. I got to figure this out. I got to FOIL that out twice. So x minus a half. Okay. X minus p. Not going to be fun. So let's FOIL this chunk out first. I got x times x, which is x squared. I've got x times negative a half, which is -1/2 x. I've got 4 times x, which is 4x. And I've got 4 times negative a half, which is -2. All of that is going to be attached to x minus p. Now I can simplify that to be x squared plus 3.5, so I'll put 7/2 because I can, x minus 2 times x minus p. Now I have to FOIL again. X cubed times x times negative p, so negative x squared p plus 7/2 x squared minus 7/2 xp minus 2x plus 2p. Yeah. So I want to compare this to that as much as possible. So we have x cubed minus, let's make it plus, let's factor out everything from these two x squared. So I have x squareds hanging out here. So that's going to be minus p plus 7/2, like so. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to say plus, and I want x all by itself over here, negative 7/2 p minus 2 plus 2p. Now looking at these guys, that is not the same as that because that has a 2 attached to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply 2 to everything. So I'm going to multiply 2 to u, 2 to u, 2 to u, and that becomes 4p. Now that I have 4p, that 4p is exactly the same as that 8. So 4p equals 8. Divide everything by 4, divide everything by 4, and p equals 2. My job is to find out what c is. C is in front of x. Also, 2 times -7/2 p minus 2 is in front of x. I now know that p is 2. So if I multiply that by 2, I get negative 7 halves times 2. So I'm going to pretend that this is 2. That crosses out. That gives me negative 7 minus 2, which is 2 times negative 9, which after all of that is negative 18. That is the hardest SAT practice problem I have ever done. And maybe it's not the best way to do it, and that's kind of like a theme with a lot of my problems. Maybe what I do is not the best way to do it, but I'm not going to lie. That's what entered my head, and it was a nightmare. Have fun.